What's up, how you doing? Here we are, Tuesday evening, very warm tonight. We have a little bit of a breeze going from east to west, but very little, maybe 1 mile an hour, maybe. But it's very nice out, regardless of how warm it is. I want to talk a little bit about the 1967 Pontiac GTO, and I have a cast iron version of it right here. This is not actual size. Look at that. Got GTO right there on the plate. So this car, and the hood opens up. Get that. The trunk does not open up. The doors open up. Nice. But this car right here was my dream car. When I was in high school, I would look at the GTO 1967 and I wanted one of these. I wanted the 400 cubic inch engine with the 4-speed manual transmission. The automatic is great too, a lot of power, but I wanted the manual. I wanted the standard, be switching gears. But that was it right there. Now they're very expensive, but a beautiful car. Plenty of trunk space, unlike the cars of today where you put a shoe brush and you don't have any more room left. But love this car. I have a connection to Pontiac. A lot of Pontiac cars I loved. Trans Am, obviously, the Catalina, Bonneville, Le Mans, Grand Am. I'm sad that Pontiac went out of business because Pontiac made beautiful cars. Like them to bring Pontiac back. Plus it's a cool name, Pontiac, that's a cool name. So this was it. This was my dream car back in high school. I never bought one, but I would admire them. I'm also a fan of the Pontiac GTO, the Judge. Came out a few years later, but this one for me, this was it. Got a helicopter overhead. They found me. Circling. So that's it for the car. A lot of power, but had to be a 4-speed manual. But like I said, the automatic is a very good car also. Get one of these restored. Pontiac. But yeah, I had an uncle who had a Bonneville. Two of my uncles had a Bonneville. I don't know, for some reason on my mother's side, they were fans of Pontiac. So I had, one of my uncles had a green Bonneville, had a green Catalina one, and then the other uncle had a blue one. All Pontiac. I think they were about the same year. And one of my uncles, I was with him, I was little, probably like 4 years old, 5 years old, and we were driving on a main road. A lot of birds going by, crows, and he had a Catalina. I think it was I want to say 67, 68, around there, and we broke down and we had to walk back, and then we came back with someone and they jumped it. It was the battery. But that car, even that car, I thought it was a beautiful car, you know. But if it came down to it, of course I would pick the GTO. But the Bonneville and the Catalina, great looking cars, nice muscle cars. But this one here, this GTO is credited, they give the credit to this one for bringing and making the muscle cars popular, the American muscle car. So anyway, talk a little bit about the Monkees, the musical band there. The Monkees that had that television show in the 60s. They have a beverage. I don't know if you can see all that. The Monkees. I was a fan of that show. I would get home and it played on channel 56, which very few people could get that channel without a lot of static. So I would go into the dining room area. We had a television set that was like furniture, and I would mess around with the rabbit ears, flip them around, and finally I would get a decent picture. And for a period of time, I forget what year it was, I think it was early 80s, like 80, 81, around there, I could not miss an episode of the Monkees that came on that channel. So I would get in there, I'd watch the Monkees, that scene where they open up and they're at the beach, the bike goes into the water, and even though the scripts, the storylines didn't make much sense, I enjoyed watching the Monkees. Something about it, I couldn't get enough. So a few years after that, they announced a comeback tour without Michael Nesmith. I didn't care, I had to go see him. So I went and I bought tickets. I went and my two sisters went with me. And it was a great concert. They changed a bunch of times. They even brought out that bed that they have in the opening sequence of the television show. They brought out the bed with them on it. They pushed it out. They changed their, their pants, their shirts. And then they had a new song back then. What was it called? That was Then, This Is Now. It was a brand new song, but they didn't sign the best deal. And Davy Jones was upset with that. So he said, hey, we haven't learned our lesson. So he walked off stage, and that was the agreement, that when they sang that song, he would walk off stage. And Peter Tork and Mickey Dolenz sang the song, Mickey doing the lead vocals, and I was a huge fan, still am a huge fan of lead vocals from Dolenz. Great voice. Last plane, maybe now, but back then it was the last train to Clarksville. And vocally, it's such a good song. He was such a great vocalist. He still is. I think he does a few shows here and there. Now, if he comes out this way, I will go and see him. He's the last remaining Monkee with two E's at the end. He's the last remaining one, and I'd like to see him again. Last time I saw him was in '86, so it's time. And he's got to be close to 80 right now. I know Michael Nesmith died recently. I liked him, the wool hat, big sideburns. So yeah, I was a fan of that show and their music. They had the best writers writing songs for them. That's why they had all those hit songs. But I haven't had this yet. I'm going to put it in the refrigerator for a few hours and then have it. It's a soft drink. It says pure cane sugar, which I like. Banana nut soda. I don't know if I like that combination, but anyway, that's it. Gotta go and cook something. Good night.